Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Gears 12 here, and today I'm reviewing an album, or basically an album by an artist I really didn't expect I would review, but I have to because I just really need to. Anyway, so today I'm reviewing King Diamond's latest album release that was back in 2007, entitled Give Me Your Soul, Please. And as we all know, if you're a King Diamond fan, you kind of know the gist of what he does. Each album is a story to tell. Usually it's really dark, and it's really like, people say demonic or anything, but it's just really dark story. Basically, through the whole entire album, you're being told a story. So this story of this album, Give Me Your Soul, Please, is about basically two dead children that their father killed them, and basically you get to hear the story about all of that. And so he was citing a couple of actual cases, like court cases, of where parents killed their children, and that's what really influenced him to write this album. There's 13 tracks on here. I'm not going to go through the complete track listing, but I will be referencing a few. But the full track listing and personnel, of course, will be in the description. So basically, to start off on this review, is if you know of King Diamond's past work, or his past stuff that he's done before, this is basically, you kind of know the formula. You get the high screams, you get the his unique style of singing, the heavy riffs, the slow paced riffs. You get some really insane guitar solos. You get some just really great musical quality from King Diamond, and you're being told a story at the same time. So it's a good match. So basically, that's what's happening on this album. So, but his past stuff has been like a few years back, 80s, 90s. We had two albums in 2000s, and then now finally his latest release, 2007, Give Me Your Soul, Please. So basically the formula's not changed through all the years, but I think it's progressively gotten better, but that's just me. So it starts off with the song called The Dead, which is a eerie track that really sets the tone for what you're going to get yourself into. Now, don't base the opening track to what the rest of the album is, because, of course, you're not really getting a full entire song, so you don't have an idea. But basically, The Dead is setting you up with this eerie intro that's kind of like setting you up for what you're about to listen to for the next little bit. Never Ending Hill, which I think is probably one of my highlights on this album, is the second track, which really, that song sets you up for what's about to happen. It's got some amazing guitar solos from the guitarist, has some really great quality singing and vocal style from King Diamond, and it just goes on from there, really. Great song structures. We go through all these other songs, and then we get to the 8th track, which is basically the single Give Me Your Soul, and this was the music video that was released with this promoting this album. And I will say this one thing, and do not take this as a negative thing, but if any of you guys who are watching this right now have ever listened to an album that you got recommended by hearing the single off that album, like say for instance like this, Give Me Your Soul is the single off this album, and then you put the single in, not the single, you put the album in, sorry about that. And basically, you start listening, and you kind of understand why Give Me Your Soul, or the single in whatever album it is the single, and you kind of understand why. Not saying that's a bad thing, but what I'm saying is Give Me Your Soul and Never Ending Hill, and the final track that ends this album, Moving On, which is an amazing, beautiful track, great way to end the album, by the way. Moving On is a great song by King Diamond. But basically, like I said, Moving On, the ending track, Give Me Your Soul, which is the single, and Never Ending Hill, which is the second track, those are my highlights for the album, basically, because those have the most unique style of going into. There's a lot more transitions, there's a lot more going on. On these other tracks, they're either slow-paced, they're medium-paced, some are fast in some spots. But basically, it's the typical King Diamond you're known to hear from in the past. It's just, there's just not a lot going on to really it's not like it's going to be throughout the whole entire album, Never Ending Hill type stuff. There is some slow down tracks, there is some moments where the music isn't really that exciting, but you're still getting told a story. I'm just saying is, that feeling, that's kind of what's going to happen here if you really enjoy Give Me Your Soul and Never Ending Hill, which is another popular song that came off the album, then you're going to like the rest of the album, but it's not that exciting. With those two tracks. The rest of the album is not really that exciting, besides Moving On. This album is considered a heavy metal album, which I do consider that, but I will say this, there is one thrash track. Yes, a thrash metal track. I personally think, if not the full track is a thrash track, at least some of the riffs are. After Give Me Your Soul, the floating head starts up with this really like catchy like alternate picking riff, and it just sounds so thrashy to me. It just sounds like a thrash type style of a riff, and it's a track like that. So I'm considering that track, the floating head, to be a thrash track. That's just me. But overall, you're probably thinking, so you said that whole thing about where the rest of the songs do not come up to the standards of Neverending Hill and Give Me Your Soul. Well, they don't really necessarily, in my opinion, meet the standards, but they're still great tracks. This whole entire album is a great story. It has a lot of great moments. If you love listening to guitar solos, if you love listening to guitar work and some really interesting guitar work that's going on in albums, definitely check this out, because there's a lot, as on past works, of course on this one too. The guitar solos on this album ranges from pretty good to just ridiculously amazing. And people might disagree and say, well, these solos are just flashy, there's nothing really going on. I feel like the solos fit well with where they're on the tracks, and basically they're basically there to just, you know, make us enjoy listening to it. And I enjoyed every single solo on this album. No solo on this album made it feel out of place or made me think, well, that's too much. That's a little too much. They could have pulled that back. I want to go back to the ending track, which is Moving On. Now, King Diamond has a wife. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Livia Zeta or something like that. He has a wife, and she is a singer as well. I don't know if she's in a band or not. I can't find any information about her. But she does some vocal work on this album. Basically, it's on a few of the tracks, but mainly it's more noticeable on Moving On. King Diamond starts off with the singing bit, and then she comes in when the song slows down and she's doing a singing bit. It's obviously not King Diamond, even though it's a high voice. It's not King Diamond, and it's just really beautiful voice work from King Diamond's wife, who's done some vocal work on past work too. But on the tracks that she is featured on this album, really good stuff. I really enjoyed the mixture of King Diamond and her vocals. It was really great matched up. Overall, the sound of the band, besides King Diamond, basically more crisp, more clear than the past King Diamond albums, because sometimes it's, you know, kind of pulled back a little bit, maybe in some instances, but I feel like the band is more well. You can hear it a lot better. You can hear the guitar riffs. You can distinguish what's happening with the bass, the drums, all that good stuff. The band just sounds a clear, crisp sound on this album. And I'm glad that they, you know, finally made it to where the whole entire band is actually heard a lot better, so I can actually distinguish what's happening while King Diamond is just yelling at you. Sorry about that. I cannot believe I'm screwing up. It's so stupid. Anyways, but overall, I think this album is just a fantastic King Diamond album. God, what is going on? But anyways, I think King Diamond is just an amazing artist. And this, once again, this 2007 release proves that he still has it and the band still has it and they're still going strong. They were in talking of doing another album. So I'm excited after hearing this latest release from them, because I'm excited to see from what this album they can take further, what they can do next. So I'm excited to see that. So overall, like I said one more time, this album is just a fantastic King Diamond album. I think it's one of those albums that it's kind of hard to not listen to, or at least listen to a track from it at least. But like I said before, if you like guitar solo work, check out this album. If you like King Diamond's past work and you have not heard this, go listen to it. But other than that, this album is pretty dang good. So that's really what it is. If I had to give a rating, I'd give this album either a 8.75 or a 9 out of 10. So that's my rating. So if you like this video and you like my reviews, like and subscribe for more metal videos, and I will see you guys pretty soon.